Hildy here, actually behind the camera. I'm going to do a little walkies. I'm sure you're getting tired of looking at my face, so I'm going to show the environment. Looks like they're starting to repair that building. It's a magnificent building. Looks like it's pretty neglected though. Most of them are real nice here. This is a nice neighborhood too. This is near where I'm staying now. Embassy Row, I'd call it. All the embassies are up and down this street. That's a Russian embassy down there, not too far down where the guard shack is. It's not like the neighborhood I was at, only less Tony. It's lots of well taken care of greenery and parks, big trees, nice sidewalks. I think this is supposed to be bicycle lane, but I hardly ever see anybody on a bicycle here. Very, very rare. I've noticed some odd things about this place. Every single car, well, I shouldn't say that, that's a hyperbole. At least 80%, definitely more than 80% of the cars you see here are white Chevys. Well, you can see, look in here. They're all Chevys. It's amazing. It's almost nothing else here. Very rarely. Okay, a Toyota just went by. Chevy, 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 Chevy. See, that little microbus is Chinese, but it has a Chevy emblem on it. I'm starting to think something's up. I'm going to have to look into that. Because we have Daewoo Matisse, I think it's called Matisse, little tiny cars. We have those in Russia, but here it's the exact same car, only it says Chevy Matisse. And I saw a Daewoo one parked next to one, and they were exactly the same, but one's a Daewoo, one's a Chevy. So I guess they're doing label swapping these days. And I've seen these little Chinese vans around here, and they got Chevy emblems on them. Maybe people just buy Chevy emblems, I don't know. They do that sometimes for a joke. Instead of a Stokel, you saw a lot of people drive an old Gas 26 or a Gas 21, and they'd have a Mercedes emblem on it. I don't think that's what's happening though. I did see a Lada though, an old 90s Lada with a Chevy emblem on it. But it's kind of strange. There's a Hyundai and a Mercedes, and Chevy, 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 Chevy. Anyway, it's just something I noticed. If your screen's big enough, you're going to be seeing a Chevy emblem on everything going by. Anyway, that's enough of that talk. Just something I thought I'd point out, for good or for ill. It's information. Make what you will of it. I'm trying to get a suitcase. I'm carrying like 4 separate bags, and they're all overstuffed and awkward. If I get a giant suitcase and do everything, it'd be better. I have 2 suitcases at the office back in Moscow. They're storing them for me. All my worldly possessions are in. And when I put everything back in them, they'll be overstuffed. And one of them's starting to get broke. The handle's breaking off of it. So I figure I can find a cheap one here. No luck yet. I went to the bazaar. It's mainly concentration on the bazaars seems to be food. They don't have as much like flea market stuff around them like they do in the Russian ones, the Russian rinkas. Like to get some cheap clothes too, but they just got piles and piles and piles of all kinds of clothes. Most of them too small for me. And they got women's and men's mixed together, and there's no sizes on them. Looks like quite an ordeal. Maybe I'll pass. Don't really need them. Just thought I'd get some cheap ones. The suitcases, I only found 2 in the whole bazaar, and they were really expensive. I was surprised. Figured I'd get it cheap. They were really crappy, poor quality ones, but they're one was like a million. Let's see, 1.3 million Somme. It's like over 90 bucks, or right around 90 bucks. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That's crazy. I'll just put up with the discomfort of having 3 or 4 different bags for a while longer. Yeah, I figured I'd find something for 20 bucks here. It'd be worth it. But, take a little walk-sees. I'll keep this rolling when I go back in the neighborhood. It's pretty interesting back there. Get to my hotel, I gotta go back behind that place. There's a crossing up there, I hope. It's a nice day, it's rather cool. Trying to rain a little bit. So what's going on in the media? I'm gonna put some links in this one. My buddy John Mark Dugan went to the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia. That's been in the news. I watched his little thing and it looks really nice. It's beautiful. They got great gardens there and it's very peaceful. There's Russian soldiers garden stuff and patrolling it. And they looked at a bunch of the buildings and the sides of the reactors and stuff, because CNN is saying that the Russians shelled the place and damaged the reactor and they're gonna melt the world down, and then the Russians took over. Well, what are they gonna do with it? That's crazy. Then you can watch John Mark Dugan's video. He's freaking there. He's sitting in the garden, real calm, walking around talking to some of the people that work there. He found a few people that speak English. Well, most people that work in nuclear power plants are pretty highly educated, and English is pretty common among the highly educated crowd in Russia. So he talked to a couple of guys. He told them what CNN was saying, and they thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, I'll put the link in here. I'll put some other links too, some interesting analysis. That Gonzalo Lira, he's coming up with some great stuff. He's a pretty good researcher apparently, and he's between him and Earl Grey, you can see, you can look at the documents all about this this whole project that the U.S. is doing, and where our foreign policy comes from. All these billions are being stolen and sacrificed. There is an agenda, there is a geopolitical agenda, but it's insane. It's not even workable. And the people behind that agenda seem to be the Kagan family, the neocons. They are profiting from it, but there's a whole bunch of other Congress critters and Defense Department yahoos that are profiting from it even more. But the Kagans seem to actually really believe this stuff. They think that they can have regime change in Russia. Yeah, Kagans. That's an interesting name. The Khazarian Empire, their leaders were called Kagans. A lot of pretty good theories on Khazarians, where they went. I don't think it's any big secret that the Ashkenazim are the descendants pretty much of, well, everybody. Nobody's a direct descendant of anyone. Most modern cultures around now are hybrids of different tribes that were divergent, that came together. Well, you look at Russia, you got your Slavs and your Varangians. You look at the Mexico and South America countries, your Spaniards and your indigenous people. Yeah, about the 7th century, the diaspora from Palestine were well settled in the Saudi Peninsula and Babylon and other places, and had their trade routes. Descendants of the Pharisees, and they did, I guess you could call them missionary trips up to the Khazarian Empire. And they gave the Khazarians their alphabet, Hebrew letters, and their Talmud. And the Khazarian elites converted to Judaism. That's a known fact. Igor Kolomoisky says that Ashkenazim are really Khazarians. Well, they are, but a lot of them will fight you over that, because that kind of blows their claim to Palestine, really. So Igor's ambitious, though. He wants all the land between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, including Crimea, for the Khazarian Homeland Project. Anyway, it's interesting. You got all these Kohens, which are claimed to be descendants of the Levites, and you got the Kagans, whose last name means basically the rulers of Khazaria. Put them together and you have like uber neocons. Shia and Sunni tradition, and I think to some extent Orthodox tradition, holds that Gog, or the Gog of Magog itself, Tubal and Mesh, are the Ashkenazim, people that are Turkic, that came from that area between the seas. Sheik Imran Hosein can give you a real good sermon on that. I'll see if I can dig that up if it's still on the internet. I'll put a link to that as well. And it's just fascinating, that and the prophecies in the Quran about Hosein, the Afghan people. Pretty interesting stuff. Well, let's go across here, I think. Yeah, there's nothing here. I'm going to cross over. I'm going to go back to the neighborhood. Look at all these Chevys. that could be a running joke. A Malibu. Well, that's a luxurious looking car. Everything you see there is a Chevy. Everything. Including those little Sparks. And the SUV. Okay, there's one that's I don't know what that is. It's a Lotta, I think. I don't know. Oh, they're real horny around here. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by that. Chevy, 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 Chevy. There's a Toyota. Chevy, 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 Chevy. Oh, a Lotta. An old one. Oh, Zaguli. Don't see many of those. Last time I was here, that's all you did see. Old Lottas and Zagulis. Now everybody's got a fairly new Chevy. Well, what else is going on? I haven't been doing much news freak stuff. Guess I need to get into that. I've got a lot of writing to do while I'm here, waiting for my plane. Think about buying a new computer. The price isn't all that great here. It's not bad though. It's about the same as it is everywhere else. Let's see, is this my turn? Yeah, I got a turn here. There's a place right down the road. I can get a new laptop. It's going to cost me probably knock the hell out of 400 bucks. I don't know if I can. I'll probably use my card there. It's a big place. And I'll be able to get one that has Cyrillic and Latin alphabet both on the keys, which will be a convenience for me. I hate using Cyrillic virtual keyboards. I got to get something. The computer I got is it's pretty chintzy. It's pretty sketchy even by my standards. It could go out any time, then I'd be hosed. I'd have to use my phone for everything. Oh yeah, there's a Nokia place right next to that store too. I'm going to talk to that guy and see if he can de-Google my phone, because it keeps changing my settings to where I put it, never download updates. It keeps changing it to download updates, and then it downloads updates, and it changes all my other settings too, and it changes the controls. and I have to relearn how to use it every time I pick it up. Well, I'm exaggerating, but that is pretty much what happens on a pretty regular basis. It's Google. They don't like the way you set things. You set things the way you want them, and they don't like that. They want to set them where they maximize distractions and advertisements for you. I'm gonna write something about that. Wouldn't it be nice to have a consistent system like you used to have with Ma Bell? The controls stay the same. They don't have to keep changing them all the time. Something that doesn't interrupt you and try to distract you when you're doing something. Wouldn't it be nice to have a functional Google? Google doesn't even function the way it's supposed to anymore. Oh, I'm here already. There's my hotel. It's very nice. Highly recommended. Some serious construction going on down there. That's where the main road is, where that building's being built. Place is up and coming. A lot of construction everywhere. Still laid back though. I like these little neighborhoods. I don't know what kind of regulations they have, but looks like everybody's able to kind of like do their own thing with their own property to me. It's just like the back neighborhoods in Russia. Well, as traffic clears out a bit. Yeah, you gotta have smart feet to walk around here, and people have to pull over and let somebody through. Oh, there's a Chinese car. Action SUV. Those are pretty nice, actually. One of my friends has one. Doesn't sound bad. Fit and finish looks pretty good. And everything else is a Chevy. Well, Uncle Billy's gonna sign out. See if I can get my computer, and I'll try to do something more meaty for my next video. I got some, but I just can't do that kind when I'm walking around in public. I gotta sit in my room and do them so I can keep track of what I'm saying and concentrate on things. Uncle Billy signing out.